Welcome to my live. Yeah, welcome. It's been a while. So I'm trying to make it a habit to be going on live. And sometimes you just have things in your mind and you want to share. So I was thinking, why not share them in the lives and just come here and talk and connect and share my thoughts. So in today's live, I'm going to talk about hanging out in misaligned spaces. I think I'm the queen of this thing. I'm the queen of this, hanging out in misaligned spaces. So I just recently had a weekend, and most of the time, when I mean by misaligned spaces, I also mean people. Anything in that space, people, the place, anything. So I was out with a friend. Have you ever been out with, I won't call them a friends, but I'll say it's just people I will hang out around, just not to be alone, or just to have someone to go out with. But then what's the feeling after? The feeling is really draining. Even if you're with them, it feels empty. So who has ever experienced this? You're with someone, but at the same time, you don't feel the aliveness. And personally, I was in this kind of situation for a long time, and it was because of my situation that pushed me to go to those places where I'm just there just to escape being alone. And this just, at some point, I was even wondering, I will ask myself, how do people make friends? How do you end up connecting, really connecting with other people and just laughing and the conversation going on so well? How do you end up in that situation? So I don't know. And then now I'm realizing that I was in a very bad state where I was really being isolated. I just isolated. It's not me, but my situation made me find myself in a situation where I isolate a lot, until to a point that I couldn't even comprehend how people make friends. I'm like, how do people even make friends? How do you end up in a good friend group and maybe call each other and laugh? How do you end up in that kind of situation? So it was really bad. So, and I'm going to tell a story where I found myself in that kind of situation. So looking back, I'll say the providers that were supposed to, the caregivers that were supposed to at least be there for an 18-year-old were not there. So imagine yourself in a country where you don't speak their language, and people are just difficult to handle. Let's say you go to China, for example. An African going to China, and then in China, you are basically alone, no communication back home, and you're not even on a scholarship. You're supposed to go and provide for yourself when you go there. Or let's say there was someone who was supposed to provide for you, and then at the end of the day, he wasn't providing. You haven't learned Chinese. How are you supposed to interact with people there? And you're 18. So yes, that's how my situation was. And then I found myself in misaligned places, misaligned spaces, starting from people. Like you just want people, I just find myself around people, like even being around them would just make me feel so bad, but I had no choice. I just had to stay around them because those are the only available human beings. And then after time, hi Angel. And then after some time, it became a habit, by the way, because it was difficult for me. I think this is how you make friends. Good night, Candido. At Candido. Hi, Robert. So, at 18, you're just getting exposed for the first time. You don't know. You're just, I don't know. Who else? Who else can tell me this? Am I overthinking? I feel like an 18-year-old now should be provided with like a good environment for them to be themselves. They shouldn't be stressing. So I noticed that it was all those things that made me like found myself in a very, very, very bad situation. So, and this is how I realized that you'll end up with friends. Let's say you have a family, you live with your family. You're in a good, like you are at peace, your mind is at peace, you're not stressing, you be yourself. And then through you being at peace, you will go out and interact. And let's say maybe you like playing football, you go play football, and that's how you make friends. You bond, like you go out to do stuff you like, and then you bond with people. That's how people make friends. But so I even thought at some point I had a problem. I was like, what's wrong with me? Why am I not? Because at that point, like I could see my high school friends making friends, they have gone to university, they have boyfriends, and I couldn't relate what they were going to, like I couldn't relate how other people are living life compared to how I was living life. And it was too much for an 18-year-old if I look back. It was really too much. So I really didn't have that safe space to be an 18-year-old and explore. So it was neglect. It was neglect from the people who were supposed to be there. And then this being around misaligned people and spaces became a habit to me because that was the only way. It was an adaptation. So I could be around them because those are the only people around me, and I will be around them to escape being alone, mind you. And then when I was around them for a long time, like, I don't know, I just couldn't find access to people that align with me. And when I traced back, it was because there was also financial issues involved. Someone who was supposed to take care of this 18-year-old financially was not there. So in a city, you have to have finances. You have to have money. So I think by that time, that person who was responsible would have. So as an 18-year-old who was really supposed to be protected, so I feel like the adults in my life failed me. It's not even I feel like, that's the truth. And like, yeah, it's a very terrible situation for an 18-year-old. And this is how people end up getting into drugs, doing other things just to compensate that pain. Luckily I didn't end up like that. But there are many, many young people who find themselves in places that are just are not aligned with them, misaligned spaces, and you really can't judge them. It's the situation that pushed them there. At the end of the day, I feel like it's not too late, and if you found yourself in a situation like mine, just be strong and find your way back to yourself. It's not an easy thing, but you have to find your way back. And yeah, and it's really, I know these kind of things are happening to other people out there. All you need to know is just don't give up on yourself, even if you feel like the world is like turning upside down on you. It's you eventually who's going to like, it's you depend, like it's only you who can save yourself. And I came to realize this, like even family might not save you at some point. That's why the people end up losing their minds, because some family members are just there to call them, they're just there for, I don't know, for them, just because they are family, because the name, because they use the name family just to be around you, or at least to benefit you. It's because of the conveniences. But when you are in deep, like when you're just in deep problem, when you are in a big problem, they won't even feel how you're feeling. They won't even be empathetic with you. So sometimes the name family is just, strangers can also be your family. Don't limit yourself to just to people who are related to you by blood. Other people can be your friends too. Okay, and don't be, we shouldn't be, maybe while growing up you don't know, like you will take it so personally and be like, why did my family didn't do this to me, why? And some people just have limitations. It can be your mother, your dad, your, everyone has their own limitations. And when I look back, I would have really lost my mind as an 18-year-old who needed protection, but thank God I didn't. And it's a journey. After that, it's not easy. It's a long journey for you to find yourself back. And if you have a supportive environment, that's well and good. And this leads me to another point. All you need is like supportive people, people who make you feel safe. I used to think that friends are people who are supposed to, or maybe conversations have to be deep, and they just have to be deep and connecting. Sometimes you just even don't need a deep conversation. All you need is someone who is just like someone who you feel at peace around. They might not talk much. They might not talk much. They are just hi yon at yon hi. So they might just, so for me back then, I used to think that for you to be my friend, we have to connect at every level. We have to listen to the same music. We have to have the same hobbies. So I used to limit myself like that. But then at the end of the day, I noticed that people can be really opposite, but be good people. Like you can really be opposite and be friends at the same time. You don't need to have a lot of similarities. And that's what I noticed, like quiet people, people who make me feel safe. Now, like my criteria is based on that, how I feel around you. Am I feeling safe, or do you make me feel anxious? And back then I will just hang out with people. I will just hang around people because we have the same hobbies, because and then later I came to realize that those are the most like toxic people that I will have around. Instead, the people that I used to feel like, the people that I would feel like we are not that connecting, or we don't have the similar stuff, became the good people to me. So there's just a scenario that happened a few months ago. Like we joined a new class, me and someone I know, and I would really overlook people who are not hyper like me. And then I will find people who are like hyper talkative and stuff. Just because we both talk, and so that's how I assume. I'm like, okay, we can vibe with this one. But then I ended up noticing that those are the most toxic people I'll have around. And then the others that I could overlook ended up being good people to me. So that was like a big lesson to me. That's what I'm learning now. Like, you don't have to be the same. You don't have to like the same music, or the other person should be listening to music and you're not. You don't have to. Just focus on how someone makes you feel. If someone makes you feel, then if someone makes you feel safe, stay there. And if someone is making you anxious, leave. Leave. And there are people are so biased. They make friends according to what they want to hear. So it's fine anyway. Everything is fine as long as you just feel safe and nothing stresses you, because stress is not good for you. Stress will make you lose your mind. So just find a place where it's bearable to you. People that make you laugh, people that make you feel well. And this is another thing. Growing up, we really underestimate how people make us feel. And it's like the most important thing. Don't be around people who make you feel anxious, who make you feel like make you feel tensed. The environment is just tensed. And I lived with this kind of people. They were relatives, but trust me, home never felt safe. I couldn't go home and feel like I'm safe. It's just a feeling that I had. And I came to notice that there are people who like being in those environments, especially the ones creating tension. They like when the environment is full of tension. And then you, who doesn't know how to create tension, who don't want to bring any negative vibe, you become their prey. You become their prey, right? Yes. They will come at you and they will create that toxic energy, and they love it when you are suffering, when you are responding to that toxic energy. So I lived with those kind of people for like almost 3 years. And I used to take it lightly. I'm like, it's relative, it's fine, it's relative. But it wasn't fine. It was getting to me. It was getting to me. And I will attract more people like that, because my nervous system is used to that kind of energy. It's familiar to it. So what do? I go out there and I attract also toxic people, because I don't know how safety feels like. You will just find yourself around other toxic people, and that is toxic to you, to your mental health. As for the toxic people, they love each other. They love each other and they know that they're toxic. They're toxic to each other. They love the environment. But for you who doesn't love the environment, get out of it. There's no time. There's no time and energy for that. Yes. So misaligned places, misaligned people, misaligned spaces, stay away from them. Stay away from them. Even if you develop the habit of staying in those kind of places like me, make an effort to break free from it. Yes. And that's like what I'm working on now. I don't care what situation I'm in, but I'd rather be alone or find something else to do than be around misaligned spaces. They're the worst to be around. Yes. And I hope someone will learn from this too. And I think the most activities, like some activities can just be your best companion. If your hobbies can be your best companion, instead of being around people who like drain your energy, and you feel like this is not the place for me. Find activities and do those activities. Those activities will be like your best friends, and they will keep you busy. You won't have any time to go be drained with other people. And through those activities you might make friends, who knows. Yeah, so that's what I wanted to share, and it's really late at my place. And as I said from the beginning of this video, I'm trying to form a habit of going live more often. Just finding time to like come live, because I like being live. This is one of the activities that will keep me busy from being in misaligned spaces. Yes, so take care. I hope someone grabbed something from this video and that it will help you. Bye. For those who are in my same time zone as me, good night. For the others, good morning, good afternoon. See you in my next live.